So this video is a simple guide on what diet you should have as a footballer to maximize your performance on the pitch. Now, first thing you need to know about diet is that literally just in my opinion, just avoid the junk food. You understand? Literally, I feel like as people, we sort of know. You sort of know when you take a bite out of a food. You sort of know if it's good for you or if it's bad for you. In my opinion, the first tip I'll just give you is just try eat as clean as possible. You know what I'm saying? If you're fortunate to have, you know, your mom cooking for you, your dad cooking for you, literally just eat your parents' food. You know what I'm saying? Don't order the Uber Eats. Don't go out to eat. Literally, the best and most simple advice I can give you is literally just eat clean food. Eat food that was, you know what I'm saying, that you bought from like Asda, that you bought from like Sainsbury's, or you bought from Lidl, wherever you like to shop. And just as long as you cook it yourself, in my opinion, that's sort of the most basic, easy advice I could give you. First of all, literally just make sure. Even if you feel like, oh, it doesn't taste as nice, trust me, it's gonna help your performance. Because if you carry on eating, you know what I'm saying, eating the Uber Eats, eating the junk food, eating the pizza, eating the burgers, and doing all of this, yeah, you might not see it when you're a young footballer, because obviously when you're young you got that high metabolism, but what it's doing, in my opinion, is breeding bad habits that once you actually get to, you know, ages 24, 25, 26, let's say you've got to ages 24, 25, 26 and you're still playing football. Obviously those bad habits are going to catch up to you. If you're still eating junk food, trust me, you're going to get to a certain age where it actually does affect you. You actually look in the mirror and you actually look at yourself and you're like, damn, like I'm actually gaining weight. You step on the scale and you've gained an extra 3 kg, whereas when you were like 16, 17, you could eat whatever you want and it doesn't really affect you. But in my opinion, as a young player, eating clean is about getting into good habits, you understand? Because like I said, I know when you're young, your metabolism's high, so you might not really see it initially, but in my opinion, it's about getting into just getting into the good habits, so that once you actually do get to, you know, that age of like 23, 24, 25, you've already got those good habits ingrained in your head. You know, you just carry on eating clean food, you just carry on eating foods that will actually, you know, maximize your performance. So literally the first point to just make it very, very simple is that literally just avoid the junk food. You understand? Literally just as long as you're eating foods that, you know, that you can buy from a grocery store, and literally just make it yourself. In my opinion, that's just the best way to go. But if we're gonna get more in depth with it, literally I just say, when it comes to your diet, literally just make sure you're implementing. You've got high sources of protein. You got a good amount of carbs and a good amount of fats. Now, what I mean by protein is, you probably know already, but what I mean by protein is literally just things like chicken, things like chicken, beef, bacon, tuna, different types of fish, tuna, salmon, whatever you want to have, different types of beef, whether it's a steak, whether it's mincemeat. You understand? Literally just have high sources of protein, and then obviously you got the carbs. Make sure you've got a good amount of carbs. Carbs are, you know, the shit that gives you energy, you understand? So I'm talking about rice, potatoes, bread, pasta, things like porridge oats. Obviously in the meals you have in a day, make sure you got a good amount of carbs. And then literally fats. The thing is with fats, you don't really have to worry about fats, because a lot of fats you can get from your proteins. Like I said, you can get fats from your steak, your lamb, your chicken. You can get a lot of the fats from your meats. But if you want to make sure that you get your fats in, I'm talking about things like, make sure you're eating your eggs, your avocados, your nuts like almonds, cashews, you know, things like that. So just make sure in every single meal you've got a good amount of protein, good amount of carbs, and a good amount of fats. I'm literally talking about a meal like, you can literally have like chicken thighs and like sweet potatoes. That's chicken thighs and sweet potatoes, or rice, salmon, and then some vegetables. You understand? I'm just talking about literally just simple meals like that. Obviously, like I said, just make sure you implement, you know, your fruit and your vegetables as well. Make sure that, you know, instead of reaching for a packet of chocolate, make sure you're eating your fruit. Instead of reaching for a packet of sweets, just in between. If you're hungry and you feel like you want a snack, literally just grab a fruit, just grab an apple, grab a banana, grab an orange, whatever you need to do. Because even though sugars do have fruit in it, even though fruit does have sugar in them, they're natural sugars. You understand? They're natural sugars. They won't really do that much harm to your body compared to like a pack of Haribo's Fantastics. You understand? So Literally in every single meal, just make sure you're getting high protein, decent amount of carbs, decent amount of fats. You understand? Like for me, I'll eat things like tuna pasta. I'll eat things like pasta with mincemeat. I'll have like chicken wraps with like I'll put chicken wraps with like salad in them. So I'll have like cucumbers, sweet corns, tomatoes, carrots, you know, things like that. Put a bit of salad cream on there, you know what I'm saying? I'll have things like that. What else would I have? If it's early in the day, I'll have things like I'll have things like eggs with maybe some brown toast, some baked beans, you understand? Maybe put some bacon on there as well. Whatever you need to do in my opinion, whatever you like to eat, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like fish, eat chicken. If you don't like chicken, you can always have a steak. If you don't like steak, eat lamb, you know what I'm saying? There's so many alternatives. It's just about, like I said, getting sufficient protein, getting sufficient carbs, and then getting sufficient fat. Literally, protein's for your muscle activation. So after you've come in from a gym session, you've done like a body weight workout, obviously you're getting your protein in to get you stronger, to get you bigger, to get you more explosive. Obviously, as a young player, you're probably just naturally skinny, or you naturally don't have a lot of muscle. If you're really looking to increase your strength, then I'll just say prioritize protein. Obviously your carbs, like I said before, your carbs are literally just for your energy sources. Carbs are sort of your fuel. Carbs are gonna keep you going throughout the day. Even the days that you have training or the days that you have matches, I would say eat your carbs like maybe 2 hours before, so that actually once you get onto the pitch, boom, you're fueled, you know what I'm saying? The carbs will give you energy to perform on the pitch, you understand? And then obviously your fats, you need to have a good amount of fat. The reason why you need a good amount of fat, I know fat in itself sounds bad, but you need a good amount of fat, because the things with you need a good amount of fat for your hormones, you understand? For your testosterone, you know what I'm saying? Because what's it called? I don't know if you've seen on TikTok or on YouTube, you see a lot of bodybuilders when they're doing their shows and stuff like that, they'll decrease their fat, and then what do they always say, because they decrease their fat, the amount of fat that's in their diet, their testosterone goes down. It's like their testosterone goes down, they feel tired, they feel weak, they can't even get a boner, you understand? They can't even get a hard dick, literally because their fats are so low. So that means that their testosterone goes down as well. And obviously you want to have high testosterone. High testosterone means that you're more competitive, you're stronger, you just feel more ready, you just feel more, more confident, you just feel more like a man. Like, so obviously you need your testosterone. Now, when do you actually want to eat these foods? On like a match day or like a training day? So on a training day or on a day that you have a match, I literally just say eat your meal probably like 2 hours before kickoff, or 2 hours before kickoff, or 2 hours before the meet time, whatever you want to do. But I'd say 2 to 3 hours before kickoff, you understand? Because like I said before, you want to get decent amount of protein and decent amount of carbs, because first of all, you don't want to be too full going into your game. You don't want to eat like an hour before kickoff and then you still feel it in your stomach, and when you're running out there on the pitch, you feel like you want to vomit. Like you don't want that situation to happen. You don't want to feel heavy. You want to go onto the pitch. You want to feel light. You understand? You want to feel light. You want to feel agile. You want to feel. You want to be able to move. But obviously with the carbs as well, I feel like when you eat carbs, maybe initially, I find in myself when I eat a lot of carbs, I might feel tired initially. You understand? You feel tired initially, but then obviously the carb, the things with carbs, they give you energy for later on, you understand? You get that energy boost later on. So obviously you want to eat your carbs 2 hours before the game, whether it's you want to eat some porridge with some eggs or something, or maybe have a game at night, you want to eat some salmon with some rice. Obviously the protein and the carbs that you eat, they're going to give you energy for later. Initially, like I said, you might feel a bit full, but once your food actually digests, you know what I'm saying, the carbs will give you the fuel, they'll give you that energy for you to go out onto the pitch, you know what I'm saying? And then literally, if it's on a day where you don't have training, you don't have a match, I literally just say just eat the exact same. Whether you eat 3 times a day or you eat twice a day. Me personally, I eat twice a day. But whether you want to eat 3 times a day or twice a day, if you want to eat some fruit in between, that's alright as well. Like I said, as long as you're eating clean foods, as long as you're avoiding the junk food, you know what I'm saying? As long as you're avoiding the junk food, the sweets, the chocolate, as long as you're eating clean food, it doesn't really matter when you actually eat these foods on days where you don't have matches. It doesn't really matter when or how you eat them how you eat the foods or what foods you eat. As long as they're clean foods filled with proteins, carbs, good fats. Like I said, it's all good. I feel like with hydration now, I feel like with on days where you don't have matches, literally just focus on drinking water. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of young people in general don't like drinking water. I just say, yo, just try to drink as much water as possible. At the very least, in my opinion, you should be drinking like 2 liters of water a day. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I really only drink water, so I probably get about definitely more than 3 liters of water a day. 3 to 4 liters a day, definitely for me. So literally on days where you don't have matches, literally just prioritize water. You can have the odd juice here, the odd coffee here. That's calm, but in my opinion, prioritize water. Make sure that you're getting at least 2 liters a day. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep your body fresh. You want to keep your body hydrated. You know what I'm saying? And then on the days where you do have matches, obviously you want to be drinking water throughout the day. But I'd say once you actually get into the match or get into the training session, that's when you could sort of really prioritize, your things like your Lucozade Sports, your Gatorade, your Powerades, because obviously when you're in a game, when you're in training, you're sweating a lot, and when you sweat, you're sweating out a lot of salt, a lot of sugar, a lot of electrolytes. So in my opinion, in order to replenish the body, to get those electrolytes back into the body, the only way you can really do it is with, like I said, sports drinks with Lucozade. Sports drinks like Lucozade, like Gatorade, like Powerade. That's literally the whole reason they've been designed, to literally, you know what I'm saying, for when you sweat, when you lose those electrolytes, you drink those and then you put electrolytes back into the body. Because what happens if you sweat a ton and you don't put, let's say, what happens when you don't sweat a ton, when you sweat a lot, you sweat a lot, but then you don't actually replenish your body with electrolytes. Let's say you're sweating a ton, you've been training for 3 hours, let's say. You've been training for 3 hours, you've got low salt, low electrolytes, low sugars in the body, and you're only drinking water throughout your training session or throughout your game. What will happen is that you start to cramp up. You get cramp, whether it's in your hamstrings, in your quads, in your calves, wherever it is, you're gonna initially start to get cramp, because that's what happens when you've got low electrolytes in the body, you understand? So I would just suggest always before games, just get a Lucozade Sport, get 1 or 2 Lucozade Sports. Make sure you're drinking them at halftime or throughout your training session. A lot of people as well like to eat sweets or like to eat chocolate at halftime before games, obviously to get that sugar rush, to replenish the electrolytes. I don't personally do that. I opt to go for, like I said, the Lucozade Sports. But if you want to eat, if you want to eat sweets, if you like eating sweets, if you like eating chocolate, that's the time to do it. You understand? That's the time to get sugar in the body. Obviously, we all know about getting a sugar rush as well. You eat some sweets and then you just get a quick burst of energy and you're ready to play. You understand? That's why you see a lot of players like Jamie Vardy drinking Red Bull as well. If you're gonna drink things like these, or you're gonna eat sweets, eat chocolate, that's the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? That is the time to do it. Because I remember I was playing futsal the other day, and literally the court we were playing, because obviously futsal was indoors, right? The room and the court we were playing in was so hot that I ended up getting cramp in like the first 3 or 4 minutes. Like both my calves were actually absolutely finished. Like I thought I'd torn my Achilles or something. Like it was that bad. I was sitting on the bench like this. My leg was just flat like this. I couldn't bend it or do anything. I literally just had to sit with it like that for like 5 minutes. You know how it is when you get cramp. You literally just have to keep your legs straight and just wait until like that pain goes away. But obviously at halftime I had to run to the vending machine, buy 2 Lucozades. Obviously drank one of them at halftime, and then obviously I was good, because like I said, in those first 3 or 4 minutes, I was sweating bears. And I'd only carried 2 waters. I'd only carried 2 bottles of water. I didn't really have any sugar, anything to replenish those electrolytes. So that's obviously the reason I got cramp. So I needed to go get me some Lucozade. At halftime, I was good, and then I ended up scoring 3 goals in the second half of that futsal match. So yeah, like I said, just make sure on your match days, make sure you're carrying something. You're carrying something sugary to avoid, to prevent the cramps, to give you energy whilst you're playing. Whether you want to carry some sports drinks, you want to carry a Red Bull, you want to carry sweets, chocolate, whatever you like to do, Obviously, like I said, on the days where you don't really have, when you don't have training or you don't have matches, I would recommend to, you know, stay away from sugar, stay away from these sugary things most of the time. But if you do want to have these sugary things, those are the times to have it. That's the time to have it on your match day or in your training session. But yeah, that's literally a simple guide to diet for a young footballer. Like, I know young footballers, you don't really take diet seriously, and I know that you feel like it won't really have an effect, but like I said at the start, in my opinion, it's just about building the correct habits, because you are going to get to a certain age where, yo, McDonald's every day, it just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Chicken and chips every day, fried chicken and chips every day, it just can't run, because you're gonna see the weight pile on. You know what I'm saying? At 16, 15, 16, you can get away with eating that stuff every single day. But once you get to like 23, 24, you can't really get away with things like that. And obviously, once you get to 23, 24, especially if you play at a high level, other players are being professional. Other players are, you know, eating the right foods, drinking water, you know what I'm saying? Other players are living clean, you know what I'm saying? Staying away from the alcohol as well. That's another one. Staying away from the alcohol, staying away from the drugs, you know what I'm saying? Other players are living professionally. And obviously, if other players are going up and your performances are dipping, then obviously eventually you're just gonna fall you're just gonna fall so far down that you have to retire at a young age, simply because you're not good enough to play at that level anymore. I feel like that's the difference. That's the difference in quality. You look at a guy like CR7, we already know what CR7's about, you know what I'm saying? It's no coincidence that he fulfilled his potential, became one of the best players of all time, you know what I'm saying? We all know the way this guy eats, this guy trains, how he takes care of his body, how he uses his money to take care of his body. And like I said, it's just even school. He was doing this even in the academy. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy doing push-ups in the at the training ground, using ankle weights to, you know, training with ankle weights to get his feet faster, so he can run faster. Just little things like this. Because like I said, even though he hadn't even made it yet, it's about the habits, you know what I'm saying? He probably could have got, his talent probably would have allowed him to get away with, you know, eating McDonald's or slacking off on his training, but it's all about the correct habits, you understand? It's all about building those habits as a footballer. Even if the diet doesn't affect you as a young player, because like I said, you have high metabolism, it's all about it's all about having good habits that you take into your professional career. But that's all I've got to say for this vid. Hope you enjoyed. I'm JT, and I'm out.